3. Dialogue Mobius link. Okay. How many resurrections does this make, I wonder? I can hear voices. They curse at me. The one who will, sinking into death, fell past it again and again. Unable to escape death, they cry that it's unfair that I get to live again. My entire body hurts. Hurts enough to suffocate. The voices of accusations beset me. Die. Give up. Serves you right. I can't see. They grow stronger each time I hear them. I want to die. I can't stand this. Filthy, disgusting. I can't see anything. I want to die. I don't want to hear this. If I have to go through this, I don't want to come back to life. But I even got used to that. Die. Then get it over with and kill me. Laughable. Then go ahead and enjoy yourself. Repent. Yes, I've already repented again and again. It's your fault. Right, it's all somebody's fault. Disgusting. That's because I'm not dressed up. Inhuman. This mirror is foggy. Demon. Yes, that's right. A human isn't capable of doing this. Well, I move past the many voices and begin to breathe again. It's not that painful from here on. Rather, I can even feel relief. As long as I can get away from that prison, what comes next is close to the joy of birth. Prison. Yes, that place matches the description of a prison. Slander, insults, derision. The stripping of human rights, dignity, and freedom. An afterlife derived from from that should be known to any person. Suffering for an eternity without pause. In Buddhism, it's called the hell of uninterrupted suffering. But that is vaguely different from where I came from. There wasn't only pain. That place had eternity and emptiness. Both were beyond reach and had no meaning even if they weren't. That's why it was painful. Because even if I gained them by some miracle, I could never understand what wasn't meant for human hands to hold. Okay. I raised my body from the sofa. Still feeling drained after a resurrection that I've dealt with for the umpteenth time. I check if I have control of my left hand.
Yo, 目覚めたか、マスター。
Yeah, you could say that. With a now typical morning greeting from my servant. He's sitting with his back turned away, still working on his puzzle, apparently. It could be solved in just a matter of minutes, but he must have taken a liking to it. Or he's just very dumb. That part of him is just like a child's. If only that innocence showed in his regular behavior.
確認しますが、私はアサシンと相打ちになったのですか？
いや、一方的に負けたよ。
Well, shit.
あんたの右ストレートは空振って、野郎のザバーニーヤがあんたの頭を吹っ飛ばした。
Shouldn't be surprising.
すごかったぜ。パンって脳みそが破裂して上半身が吹っ飛ばされてた。
That's a disgusting, disturbing thought.
脳を丸ごと火薬に変えて体を吹き飛ばすなんて手の込んだ殺し方だよな。脳みそ掴んだならそのまま引きずり出して終わりだってのに。
I mean, yeah, he coulda, I guess. My servant is prattling on cheerfully. I imagine my body without its upper half and sicken myself as a result. I recall my fight with Assassin. I met Assassin's Master by accident at the forest behind the school. The enemy consisted of just one lone master. As I saw no servant, I charged into combat. The enemy master was a skilled doll user, and controlled countless automata as if they were his own limbs. The French dolls, equipped with precise killing mechanisms, were a threat, but I was well acquainted with how to deal with dolls. I also have had experience fighting in a free-for-all with the monsters nesting in the city, so it was a simple matter to overwhelm the master. If only one of the dolls had not worn a skull mask.
まさかサーバント。
Yeah. The moment I realized what he was, I was hit by multiple poisonous needles. Assassin. A class where one specific heroic spirit is chosen, but whose abilities is changed with each Holy Grail war. Okay. That's new. So it's always supposed to be Heaven's Feel Assassin. It's always okay. Interesting. So I've watched the first episode of Fate Zero. I haven't watched past episode 1, but I have watched the first episode. And so I noticed that Hassan is a group of okay. But yeah, like I was gonna say, it sort of made sense because in that first episode of Fate Zero, we see Assassin. It was the same guy as the one in Heaven's Feel. So I wonder then how is Sasaki Kojiro summoned then? Is it because another servant summoned him? As the name that was the source of the word assassin was one that multiple assassins inherited. A different one would become assassin for each war. Okay. That's all it was to it, is that Caster summoned him instead of a human? But that wouldn't make sense though, because if it's bound to Assassin is a group, not one being, and of them, the assassin selected this time was a midget of a height no taller than up to an adult's knees. Was he like that when he was alive? Or was this a special characteristic exaggerated by becoming a servant? Assassin did not have the build of a dwarf that would appear in a fairy tale. He had a form as cultivated as that of an acrobat. He could have been a clown from a circus. Well, that's rude. A worthless heroic spirit with a small body. However, it was a strong advantage for the class of assassin. Not only did it make detecting his presence difficult, the area that could be hit was overwhelmingly small. His speed was among the fastest of the servants. Tracking his body racing through the trees with unmodified eyes was difficult. In addition, the reason for the name was the one-hit noble phantasm he possessed. By the time I fully understood the disadvantage I had on this terrain, the poison had immobilized my legs. I was confident that I could catch him on a flat plain with nowhere to hide, but in a forest with many obstructions, I was helpless. Knowing that, I made my final bet using my life as a gambling chip. Here's the thing, though. If you already knew... well, I used the left side of my body to lure Assassin out of the shadow of the trees. Assassin would judge that I could not retaliate, and then move towards my left side at lightning speed. I would then counterattack with a full force straight right into him. The timing was perfect. The charging assassin couldn't dodge either right or left and couldn't completely nullify the effects of the impact by blocking. That was the drawback of having a small body. Yet not even that slowed him down. Just before impact, he jumped and landed on my fist with a comical plop. On my straight right, the one I prided having a speed of about 80 kilometers per hour. And as a counter, no less.
嘘。
I do have a rich record of sorts in combat, but this was the first time that I had seen an enemy scuttle towards me on my own arm. That would be interesting to see, I suppose. It brought to mind images of unbelievably miraculous deeds, such as standing on the tip of a lance. Assassin extended his left hand to my face, and my consciousness was cut off at that point.
悪夢だ。
Yeah, I mutter.
どうした？まだ体が硬いのか？
I mean...
いえ、調子は万全です。蘇生にも慣れましたから。
That's good.
今の胸焼けはあなたのおかげです。最後の瞬間、アサシンの手が額に触れた感触を思い出しまして。
あ、そうか。悪い悪い。気が利かなくて申し訳ない。
Cackling, he continues with his puzzle. What he's really laughing at is my own failure. This is nothing like teasing. That man is host to a personality disorder that makes him laugh over sad news as much as over anything comical.
いいです。そちらにも慣れましたから。それでアベンジャー、あなたが私をここまで運んできたのですか？
いや、俺も殺された。二人一緒に一日前の今に戻ったわけだ。やられたのは0時ジャストだったからな。
There's been almost no progress. Yeah, having your brain blown out the back of your skull must suck. I mean, you probably wouldn't even feel it, to be honest. Like, you'd feel... yeah. Yeah. But I guess having the memory of that happening, because you get revived, would probably suck, yeah. How many days have passed since I woke up in this mansion? We haven't even passed the 4th night yet. Perhaps out of disappointment with myself, I grasped the earring in my pocket unconsciously. I took it with me when I left my country. It's probably some kind of a protective charm. I don't remember why I'd brought it, but it must be something like an amulet, judging by how carefully I kept it tucked away.
しかし、ありゃマスターのせいじゃないぜ。あのアサシンが変すぎたんだよ。あんたの拳、確かに当たってたしな。ま、気に病むことはないんじゃない？
Yeah, I guess.
あんたは俺っていうハンデがあるんだ。初戦で相手に宝具を使わせたのは称賛に値する。
気休めですね。いくら前線しようと死んでしまっては何にもなら。
No, that's our advantage. I haven't made full use of it yet, but this servant can bring the dead back to life. Well, he can bring you back to life. I don't know about anyone else. As long as our contract is still in effect, I'll continue to be resurrected.
そうか。この方法でも問題はない。いえ、むしろこれがあなたの武器だ。利用しない手はない。私たちは相打ちでいいのですね。
Okay. by gaining information on the enemy like this. Eventually, we'll be able to defeat them using the appropriate preparations to ensure victory.
これで有利
Right.
なのは私たちだ。
Uh-huh.
アサシンの特徴が分かった以上、あとはいかに平地におびき寄せるかだけ。
Good luck with that. I clench my right fist. At this rate, I don't have to wait for the enemy masters to be weakened. A perfect victory is achievable. If I eliminate them one by one straight out, even the association would treat me a lot. Even the association would treat me a lot. Would treat me. That A shouldn't be there. Why is that A there?
割と順応してるんだな、マスター。こんなに負けが続いてるんだ。てっきり落ち込んでるか、俺の不甲斐なさに呆れてるのかと思ったんだが。
いえ、それは確かにそうなのですが。
Come to think of it. Oh, a little better. Hey, that makes sense. I was thinking you'd be like, would treat me like, you know, something. But yeah, that makes sense. Come to think of it, what am I thinking? Even if I do have this ability, I've been defeated again and again. I'm becoming careless. Had I tried hard enough, I should have been able to defeat Assassin. But instead, I'm taking my time, prolonging the final battle until I feel that I've learned enough about his abilities. It is as if... No, that couldn't be true. As representing Magus of the Association, I'm only fighting battles that can't be lost.
ま、日数を重ねてるわけじゃねえからいいけどさ、時間を幾分無駄に使ってるよな、俺たち。
The servant stands up. Leaving the puzzle unfinished, he walks towards the entranceway.
続けようぜ、マスター。まだ調べてない場所があるだろう。
Led on by the servant, I also rise up from the sofa. Carrying Rash over my shoulder, I grip the earring in my pocket one more time, and leave for the Holy Grail War. Oh.